What's up, y'all? We about to go in, baby. We about to go ins. We rolling? What's going on there, everybody?
Hey.
Glad to be here another week.
Hey.
This is another week of the quarantine with Dre, Otis, and Cash. I'm glad to be here with you all. It's another spectacular day to be above ground and not under it.
That's right.
We got a few things going on because we got in here kind of late. So bear with us for about 3 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get this party going. So give us about 3 minutes. Be right back.
3 minutes. That's all we need is 3.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Latrice Cash. You're watching Cash Count. I haven't even combed my hair. So, WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. WJZZ Cool TV, the quarantine with Otis and Cash. And I'm Cash.
All right, baby. We back. And guess what? I didn't even need 3 minutes. It happened quicker than what I wanted to. Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is the quarantine, and this is another crazy week. Mm-hmm. Another crazy week in America. You know who the president is. I mean, I don't have to say much. But we got an exciting show today. We got a few members of my MPLP class. That's the Michigan Political Leadership Program. They came in tonight to grace us with our presence, and we're going in on racism tonight. Racism in America. That's our topic. So, guess what? That coronavirus still hitting us in Michigan. Not like it was about to go away.
It's not going on.
I went to have to get a test yesterday, and I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that believes that thing is some easy test to have, you can kiss my ass. My face is partially still hurting. The lady told me I'm only gonna go in about a pinky tip of your nose, and I said, wait a minute, that's not nothing I can't handle. I mean, I was a kid that dug up my nose, so it's not like I haven't had fingertips on my nose before. But I looked up before I knew it. She had shoved that thing so far up my nose and got the twisting and turning, and I'm not going to tell you what I want to do to her, but I was pretty ticked off that she lied to me. It wasn't anything easy. My face felt like I had snorted about 20 lines of cocaine, and I don't even snort cocaine, so I can't even tell you what that feels like, but
So
I can just assume.
So how you know?
Man, my face was on fire. I felt like I had a migraine headache. I felt like I had a sinus headache, so I mean, this wasn't.
No, that wasn't good.
No. So to people that have to get tested on a regular, I feel sorry for you, and I send you my prayers.
Condolences.
So yeah, we're gonna go in on your president. I love going in on that guy because America, we got to do better. We've got to do better. I don't care if you agree with 2 or 3 policies. If you think this man represents you or what America's supposed to be, we got a long way to go. Because he doesn't represent me at all, and I hate when people tell me how he's doing this, that, and the other for me. Because guess what? I haven't profited off of it. Yeah.
Well, some black people, some minorities say that they have profited off of him.
What do you think about again, that's some. And again, as a black man in America, I know what my people have faced. I know where my people have come from. So I wouldn't care if I was the richest man in America. If his policies did affect me, I can't let you clown on my people. And a lot of us don't understand that. This thing is getting ridiculous. If you thought they was marching in tiki torches and yard lamps before,
oh yeah,
man, elect them again. I dare you. So I'm just playing. I ain't screaming at y'all. I thought I was screaming at y'all.
You
like
screaming.
That crazy Republican woman they had up there, Donald Trump's daughter, that was talking about he's the savior. He's there for us. What was that crazy woman name? You remember her name?
Wasn't it Ivanka? No.
No, man. It was I guess Donald Trump Jr.'s messing with this chick. But I felt offended that she was screaming at me so much at the TV. I felt like she was looking at me. She was looking at me saying I better go support Donald Trump. But ladies and gentlemen, Again, this is the quarantine, and you are watching the coolest TV. I mean, I'm not just TV, coolest station in the world.
Coolest.
WJZZ Cool TV, and you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and all top social media platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, you can give us a call tonight, 313-355-6018. We going in.
And what's the topic today?
Race in America.
In America.
And I said three K's for a reason.
3Ks.
3Ks for a reason. But right now, we are about to get into our cash spot. So, ladies and gentlemen, Latrice Cash, it is yours.
So thank you, everyone, for listening and watching the quarantine here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. So I am Cash Cam, and I just have some thoughts about what is happening right now in society. And I'm going to throw it to you real quick, and then we're going to segue, and we're going to let Otis segue into the race relations thing. It's very interesting that first people were worried about terrorism, children getting raped, children getting molested, poor education, your sidewalks and the streets not being paved, yelling and screaming at political meetings, yelling and screaming and calling people names, car accidents, chasing people down the street in your cars, running people over, domestic violence at an all-time high, homegrown terrorism. We had the people from outside of the country that came into the country trying to take down the World Trade Center a couple times. They succeeded. Of course, we have 9/11 today, and they ran their planes through the World Trade Center building. But they also tried another time through the train system that runs underneath the Trade Center building. And then there was another place where they bombed a daycare center and killed all these children. There's so much happening in the world prior to today, prior to this election. And it's very interesting how all of a sudden, none of this seems to matter. It seems like everything has gone into the background. It's been forgotten. It's been pushed to the side. And all of this is still important. People still don't have food. People still need money. People still need jobs. People still need their health care and adequate health care. People need their help to go to the jobs. Meanwhile, there's people that don't want to talk about God, talk about goodness, talk about positivity. And I'm just going to say this. I was in the store recently. Two things I want to add. I was in the store recently, and there was a lady and her gentleman friend. They had a basket full of stuff, and there was an elderly gentleman in front of me, between us. He had to have been all of 80 years old. He had literally one item in his hand. They wouldn't take him at the self-checkout at Myers because you need to use a card. So he had to go and stand in this line. And this woman looked at him several times and refused to let him go in front of him. What happened to being proper? What happened to mannerism? What happened to chivalry? Men being chivalrous? What happened to society and polite and respectful and respecting your elders? What would have killed you to let this older man not stand for 20 minutes to purchase one item? I told him, I said, sir, I'll walk over there and I'll pay your item for you. He said, no, ma'am, I'll wait. Thank you, but God bless you. God bless you too. Another thing. What is happening where, well, we already talked about the WAP, but what is going on in this society? And this also leads into the whole racism thing and racism in society. Why do people want everything is sexualized? And it's not just black people. Everything is sexualized. Why? What happened to the goodness in society? What happened to the God in society? What happened to your being an elected official and wanting to be an elected official because you want to do good for your community, for your society, for your country, for your world? What happened? Thank you for our guests. Please come on in and have a seat. What happened to all of that? If you're going to be an elected official, if you're going to work for an elected official, aren't you supposed to be doing something right? Aren't you supposed to be working for the constituents? Aren't you supposed to answer their questions, help them with their issues, guide them with their issues, right? What happened to all of that? It's like all of a sudden nobody cares. Everyone is all out for themselves for no good reason. So welcome to America, and that is no direct relation to our wonderful guest from, is it you say it.
MPLP.
MPLP.
That's right, the Michigan Political Leadership Program.
Michigan Political Leadership Program. And your names again. Otis, would you like to introduce your friends?
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why she continues to do that sometimes. We are done with the Cash spot for this week.
Right. I'm giving it to you.
Thank you
Come
again,
on,
Latrice Cash.
Come on, Otis.
Cash. She's a beautiful woman. She's just a thorn in my side. You know, she's like the poking pride. But ladies and gentlemen, I got in here this week two of my favorite people in the world.
All right.
Mr. Zach Rich and Mr. Bilal. I'm not going to mess up his last name, so I'm just say Mr. Bilal. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So we're going to start with Mr. Zach Rich. How you doing, sir?
Hey, doing great. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. We're glad to have you.
Tell
us a little more.
Yeah, that ain't it.
We need, come on, your name, rank, serial number, what do you do for a living, what have you done?
Yeah,
tell us about the program.
Sure. So, part of what I do is I'm a caseworker for Congresswoman Haley Stevens, but I'm also an elected official as of 2018. I'm on the Farmington Public School Board. And so, I've been out with MPLP since we started this year, and it's been great getting to know Iandra. And Bilal and I actually went to college together for a little bit. So.
Oh, wow.
I've met Bilal before. I remember that smile. I've met you several times, but continue.
Oh, it's, so Iandra's like, hey, I'm having the show, and he wanted to get some guests, and I said, anything for you.
Oh, so you really like him? He's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
And
you sure about that?
Look the way he dresses. No one dresses like that unless they're a nice guy.
He's one of those guys it's hard to say no to, you know?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bunch of bullshit.
But it really is.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I like afterwards.
Mafia-like, style. Those guys. I'm not gonna say they did good things, but man, they fashion and some of these political figures.
Yeah.
But anyway,
go ahead. Come on, Zach.
No, that's really what I got. I'm glad to be here and looking forward to our discussion today.
Appreciate it. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we have our MPLP model, Mr. Bilal Hamoud.
Model.
This man, let me tell you something. He dresses sometimes, and before COVID, I was jealous sometimes. Like, man, I need to figure out how I'm doing that. But go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate that. You're too kind. My name is Bilal Hamoud. I work with the Michigan Department of State in the Office of Public Engagement. I lead a lot of efforts around the state on voter access, language access, making sure that we're tearing down the barriers that exist to accessing the electorate, but also accessing the community resources that exist.
Yes, sir.
You'd be surprised how many things exist out there and how many people aren't able to get to it just because of the sheer lack of knowledge that it's there. Mm-hmm. It's sometimes just removing that veil is all it takes to get people to where they need to be. So,
lift this up.
That better?
I think so.
I heard you pretty clear.
I'm going to get real close and personal.
This is what we're here for, getting real close and personal.
Get close and personal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was trying to figure out my tablet to try to escort you all to the WJZZ Cool TV. So if you are here on my live page, go to WJZZ Cool TV. I'm about to finish it here. I'm about to start a watch party on my page so you all can join me there. Yes, Stephen Boyle, there is some vital work Bilal does. Go to WJZZ Cool TV. We'll see you in 2 minutes over there. I'm finishing my live page here. But go to WJZZ Cool TV. I'm about to start a watch party there. I'm out.
All right. Hi, Stephen Boyle. So, I want to know, how are you appointed or offered a scholarship, right, to the MPLP program? Is that correct? I haven't been in it. I think I'm too old to be in the program.
You are not.
I'm about to say
what are you?
Not too old.
25 maybe?
Ooh, I love him. You want to put a ring on my finger?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I got a wink.
And this is Latrice Cash at work again. She's trying to find. But she's single, so hey, please, if you want to put a ring on her finger, I advise you at least date her 20 times before you.
20 times?
20 times.
Dang, why you gonna put me out like that?
Just takes one.
I'm not. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why my phone
His
is so
phone
loud.
is always acting up. So when we do our show, anything is liable to happen. Be prepared when you come in here. Just go with the flow. So tell us about the program. What is the thing that you like most about the MPLP program and working with Haley Stevens?
Sure. So I'll start with MPLP. You know,
Yes.
it's one of those programs where it's truly a bipartisan program, and so you know you get into your own little echo chamber sometimes with a lot of social media and things like that. And so what MPLP really helps with is being able to work with people across the aisle. You know, working with people that otherwise you wouldn't hear from, you wouldn't know what they think on different things, and you know, especially in our world and in our state, we need to be able to get things done working with other people. I mean, especially here we have, you know, we're Democrats and trying to, when we don't have a majority, it's trying to figure out how are we going to get things done. And so being able to work with people, and that's been a big part for me is learning that.
How many people are in the program?
24.
24? Yeah, it's 24.
Yeah, and they do that divide there.
It's interesting because I had just did a fellowship with Bilal a month or two before I looked up
That's right.
and seen that he was also in the MPLP. So I pretty much went to school with him like you. We didn't.
So there you go.
We didn't do no years time, but we went to a little education together. So
I'm last.
how do you feel, you know, so far about your MPLP experience? Granted, we're going through the COVID and we can't really. This is our first time seeing each other physically since
March?
February, March,
Something like that, yeah.
That was our last cohort meeting.
Yeah, so explain to me how you feel.
So a lot of my feelings are dilatory with Zach's. I absolutely love that there's that bipartisan nature to the entire cohort. You get to work with not only people who share your opinions, but those who would oppose them and fight actively against you. And it's not in any way disorderly. It's having a common conversation, talking about the issues that are important and issues that you may have never heard of prior. So not only are you learning about the new issues, getting to meet so many cool guests from across the state. We've had some incredible people who have led the sessions for our MPLP cohort, and that's probably one of the best things. We're getting a wealth of knowledge. We're getting all these connections. And even with this digital platform that we're stuck with, we're enjoying it, and we're getting a lot out of it. And honestly, I was worried. I was hesitant. I did not think that we were going to get what we got by doing it digitally, but I've been pleasantly surprised.
All right. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure that you all know who my colleagues, future leaders, future elected officials are, future appointed people are. I don't know what their plans are, but I hope they will be changing some policies with me in the near future. With that being said, I want to open up the phone lines and I want to open up the floor to our discussion. Race in America. Ladies and gentlemen, our phone line is 313-355-6018, and you are watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, and you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and top social media platforms. I feel like this is the time for a discussion like this. 2020 has been one of those years. It's like I never expected to go through as a human being, as a regular person, as a human. You know, these things that we're going through right now is what you saw or see on TV in some of these past times. These last 4 years, and maybe a little more, have shown that we aren't as progress as a people as we assumed we were.
That's true.
As a black man, it sucks that I have to still explain to some people of different cultures and different races that what I had to face to get to where I am now might have been a road that you may never had to go through. even with some people in our cohort. You know, I've had some conversations that people feel like you can pull your bootstraps up. Well, guess what? I can't pull up a damn boot if I don't have any boots to pull up.
More strap.
You know, so
Where you gonna get it from?
let's just start this kind. I mean, y'all can say anything. I mean, let's go.
I got a question.
What's up?
What are? Okay, we got 3 men in the room.
What you about to say?
What are the disparities between how you were raised and the opportunities you were given as a young person and as a teenager and then as an adult going into the political field, working for a politician and the MPLP program? What gave you the advantage, and what do you see were the disadvantages of other people going into the program?
Yeah, I would love to take that. So I grew up in an immigrant family, right? My family came here a year before I was born. We have always lived in the south side of Detroit, and then we moved to Dearborn Heights, right on the border of Dearborn Heights and Detroit. And I was raised with 3 younger sisters. So I've gotten to experience things at its worst, and I've gotten a very different perspective being raised how I was. And I'm thankful, right? I'm thankful for the way I was given opportunities that I didn't think I'd have access to. And it's not something that was given to me because I was who I was. I had to find it. I had to actively search for these opportunities. And the only reason I was blessed enough to be a part of this cohort and be a part of this work is because I wanted to enact change.
Not to cut you off. Well, we had a phone call coming through. Please, if you see any phone calls coming through, put them through. That's what we're here for. So, caller, you called. I hope it wasn't the wrong number, but please call back. I'm sorry, Bilal. Go ahead. Keep going. Hello?
Sounds like someone's there.
Hello?
Hello, do we have a caller?
We got a caller?
I guess you might.
Okay.
There we go.
How you doing? Who's calling?
This is Stephen Boyle.
Hey, how you doing?
Stephen Boyle.
How are you?
We all right.
I thought it was really great to hear Belial say that you guys have a program where people from different parties, different perspectives, could actually discuss the topics. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, it's actually called the Michigan Political Leadership Program. And it's actually, what is it, like 9-month program that we're in?
It's almost a year long. I think we failed to mention that this program is open to anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone can apply. And we have some amazing people who have been through that cohort. Our Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, my boss, she was part of the MPLP cohort.
My boss, Councilman Roy McAllister Jr., he was a part of that cohort.
Right. So it's open to anybody. There are 24 slots that are filled. Half are women, half are men, half are Democrat, half are Republican. So it's split evenly 6-6-6-6. That's how you get that nice divide, that healthy balance.
Okay.
And honestly, if you that's something you're interested in, Stephen, I'll get with you offline and we could talk about it. Because
I was in a program recently called eJAM a few years back. This was 2014. It was the Economic Justice Alliance of Michigan.
Okay. Well, yeah. If this
similar.
this is something you're interested in, Michigan State helps with it. So I can talk to you offline and put you through. I can't say that you're going to get selected, but at least get you the information. Get you started on the application process and everything.
Ian's gonna hook it up.
I'll let you get back to the conversation you were in the middle of because I thought that Latrice asked a good question.
I appreciate your call, man. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming last week too.
Thank you, Stephen.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
Let me continue, Bilal. You were saying something to the effect of opportunities kind of were given to you. They kind of fell in your lap. Do you think that opportunities are given to you because you lead a good life, you lead the right path in your life, and that you've met good people who are always doing good things in their life, and they're also trying to lead toward a better path in life, and they see you and they say, hey, I'm going to give you this opportunity, and not just for you, but for people in general that you've come across in your life? Do you notice that, or is it something else?
No. I mean, I'd say a lot of the things that have I've been lucky to have been a part of are things that I've had to seek out and things I've had to work for. But no, oftentimes you see people offering opportunities to folks when they think a certain way or do a certain thing, but it's not based on who they might actually be or the merits that they actually carry.
It's a combination.
And so I have seen what you're describing. I've seen it very often, but I'd like to think that I've had to push a lot harder coming where I come from to get to where I want to be.
So let's say in high school.
Oh, do we have to? I don't know. I'm ready for that.
Let's just start in high school. What were you involved in? And then I want to go to you.
Sure.
What activities were you involved in?
Patrice, the conversation is about racism in America, but I hope this is. Ladies
I'm
and
leading
gentlemen,
to a
I
point.
keep telling y'all this is my thorn.
No, I see exactly where she's going.
I have a point.
I have
See,
to go.
Otis never understands a point. But
No, I don't
there's
understand
a-
your points. But
Well, you
ladies
never
and gentlemen,
do.
this is what we do. This
You
is my
never
boo.
do.
I can't stand her. But anyway, go ahead.
That's all right. I hate you too.
I know.
But
Hate
we
is
still
such a
cool.
strong word.
But but there is a point to the
yeah.
questions, and that is the relevance between experiences and how it gets you to the MPLP program. The relevance in your experiences and your activities and your lifestyles growing up, college, work experiences. How did it get all of you to that same place, to that same opportunity, to that same place where you can all excel and just boom, explode?
Sure. I want to definitely talk about this. It's one of those things that I'm going to start off with saying, look, I know who I am. I know what I am. I am very lucky to have been born into privilege as a white male in an upper middle class family. And so growing up in Oakland County, I was able to have a lot more opportunities than people outside of those situations. I mean, looking at my first, looking at right out of high school, I was able to work on campaigns, things like that. But then being able to do things like unpaid internships, right? I mean, a lot of the times, and so, I mean, it's not that long ago, but 2012, 2013, right? Being able to do a congressional internship, I mean, that starts to build a resume, right?
Yes.
Right.
But it's unpaid. So you have to, one, be able to support yourself while be doing this unpaid internship.
Yes.
If you're doing it in DC, you have to be able to afford to live there. And so having those, the ability to do so is definitely coming from a place of privilege. I mean, there are people who can't do it because they can't afford it. They can't get out there. They can't do this, that, or the other thing. And so that alone, I acknowledge that's a step up that other people don't have.
Yeah, so there's some differences. Otis, your turn. You're next.
I tell people all the time, I'm blessed to be where I'm at.
Amen.
This isn't a path that I literally sought out for myself. Where I was, what I was doing, shit had nothing to do with politics. I can tell you that right now. It probably would have put me in jail somewhere if I'd ever got caught, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But where I am right now, I feel like I'm probably the most. I'm gonna just say it like this: being around the people I'm in this cohort that we in, the Michigan Political Leadership Program. I feel like every session I have to bring it. I have to bring something because I'm around a bunch of people that, guess what? Shit, they know this stuff. Even with the few black people that we have, in that group, I feel like if we were in a room with somebody and they came in with some money or something, they would listen to them over me because I don't articulate how politically correct people say. I don't do what the political correct way is. What I'm doing right now. Some people smile down on this. I mean, I'm not going to say smile to frown down on this, which I really don't care about because this is a platform that I was blessed with to be able to put out information, to be able to have people like these two young men right here. I didn't have to meet them.
Right.
So my path is totally different. I'm just blessed to really be here. I don't know how I got to this point.
You got to this point, and I'm going to interrupt you. all of you got to the, I know, he'd be like, oh, I want to choke her.
I ain't know.
But this is just my analysis, my opinion. Everyone that's in the MPLP program, just this term, this session, what I notice is, although everybody came from different backgrounds, everyone has the same goal. Although everybody came from different backgrounds, you're able to communicate what your differences are and what you have in common and what you want to achieve.
Right,
and
right.
although you have that, you want to achieve something in a different way and you may disagree, that also, as you two gentlemen were saying, that helps you and teaches you how to learn and how to reach across the aisles when you become elected officials and learn how to work together and get things done. What I notice with a lot of current officials now is some people are frowned upon because they're able to go across the aisle and they have that open communication.
But see, that also plays into the topic of the night.
Exactly.
Race in America. You know, we just had a discussion
See,
earlier.
I brought it in there. Don't you
I
like my
actually
segue?
escorted you in.
Don't you like my segue?
We were talking about it earlier. You know, again, I feel like we do have people in America that don't believe there is certain privileges out here. Our own president and the Attorney General have recently said there is no such thing as systematic racism. There is no such thing as racism. But when you say things like that and how you move and how you operate, you know, just the other day we had Mitch McConnell. I'm sorry, I ain't say that, did I? Mitch McConnell come out the other day with a skinny bill. $500 to $7 billion compared to $1 to $3 trillion to help Americans like myself, who literally are on furlough, go to work every day, but don't know where their next and that really has nothing to do with racism. That's just the idiots that we have making these policies for us.
They think that you can survive.
I'm a black man
what
that
they're giving you.
played college football. I went to a state called North Dakota. Don't know what I was there for besides football, but when I hear people say there is no such thing as racism and racism isn't anymore, I literally was called a nigger by state police of South Dakota because me, my homeboy Dexter from Houston, Texas, and my homeboy Larry, he was from Fairbanks, Alaska. 3 black guys going across state lines to go have fun in South Dakota because there was nothing to do in Elladale, North Dakota. I mean, it's a town of 500 people, so we were the stars there if we played football. To go to South Dakota, Aberdeen, South Dakota, in 2004, to cross those lines, to get pulled over on a highway, and to hear a police officer say, "Who are you?" Because we know our niggers. We know the niggers here. Man.
Can I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
Can I ask something? So, there's this big thing about systemic racism. We all know, everybody in this room, we all know that racism exists. As you say, you grew up in Oakland County, slightly privileged. What do you remember your first experience recognizing, experiencing somebody or watching someone experience systemic racism? What were your thoughts and what was that experience? And how did it affect you?
Well, before you, also, with that answer that you gave her, usher in what you've done with that building Farmington Hills,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, loaded question.
Yeah,
Be
no,
ready.
no, sure. You know, it's one of those things where I was exposed to it a lot younger than I think a lot of others were. In elementary school, one of my very best friends was an African American male, and seeing how he was treated differently I mean, it was something that I was made aware of. The woman who introduced my parents to each other was black, and so her mom was Granny B to us and was the one who babysat us. But you start to notice things when you are out and about in the town with someone who's a different race. And I mean, so it was one of those things where I'm not sure when it first clicked, but I mean, it's one of those where if you're looking back and thinking about it, you're seeing that. Yeah. And so one of the things that Dre was bringing up is, so a couple weeks ago, I was putting together a proclamation for Farmington Public Schools, and so I'm on the school board there, and it was a proclamation of anti-racism. And so, it's something that you should be proud to say, right? I am anti-racist, right? That is not something that should be a hard thing to say. And so in there, it was a 2-page document, first listing the disparities, looking at the demographics, looking at even in a town that was founded by Quakers, Farmington Hills has still had instances of racism. You see that there is systematic racism prevalent there, and so I thought it was extremely important to take action on it. We did have an initial proclamation brought forward like a month prior, but it was, for lack of better terms, it lacked teeth. Right? It was a great idea, but it didn't actually do anything. And so
it was just words.
It was just words on paper.
Did people embrace it? So basically, they didn't embrace it. They were just like, eh.
It was one of those things where I was very happy that a lot of my board members were like, I mean, we like the idea, but it doesn't really do anything. And so I took it upon myself. I had asked first people to, if they were, what their thoughts were on this. And then I'm the chair of the policy committee. So what I did was I took the proclamation that was brought forward. I looked at surrounding cities, surrounding school districts, and I'm like, what are they doing, and how can we be better? And so what I did is I first went through, did a draft, and then I brought it forward to two very close friends of mine. So Nicole Wells Stallworth, wife of Tommy Stallworth, yes. And so she is a fantastic woman in our community who was able to take a look at it before I presented it, because, like I said, I understand. I am a white male, so there are things that I might look over, I might not address, and the last thing I wanted to do was put something forward that was, one, half-assed, and two, if it could at any point be something that was offensive, that is not what I wanted, but it's something that I know I'm looking at it with a different lens, and I don't want anything to happen there. So with her, and then a former colleague of mine, Jonathan Solomon, who's currently out doing great things at Washington University in St. Louis, after having done many things with Upward Bound and at different colleges around the country. I was able to put this proclamation forward that actually did something. And so making sure that we'd actually be able to push something forward. And then, after it passed, I had someone be like, this is wrong, and then redlined an entire proclamation. And it's like, this says that systematic racism is real, delete that. It's like, no. Right? And so it's one of those things where it's, how, that there are people out there who don't think that systematic racism is real, who's like, America is post-racism and all that. And it's like, how can you be so blind to it?
I just had that conversation with Ernestine Lyons, Councilwoman Ernestine Lyons of Harper Woods, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get her name correct. My thing was...
I'm sorry.
We got a phone call coming through real quick.
I'm not sure what happened to your chair, man.
Anything can and will happen in here.
Hello?
Then we get a caller.
Caller?
Better caller.
Okay.
I guess they might have got shy on us.
I don't know. Maybe when we started laughing, they thought we were laughing.
The thing was for me was where I grew up in certain parts of Detroit. You can sit and say we all are afforded the same opportunities and everything like that, but if I grew up seeing, okay, let that call it. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Welcome to the quarantine caller.
The caller isn't on. Hello. Anyway,
we don't know caller. We don't know.
Certain areas you can't really say that because if you grew up in the suburbs and you came home and you don't have to worry about a roof being leaked, you don't have to worry about if you're going to have heat or air in your house, drinking water,
right,
bathing water, food. You know, you can't say that we are all afforded the same things when guess what? Systematically, we are in one spot and you're in another. You know, I can't compare a child that grows up over off of Puritan and Cherry. Hello?
Yes.
Hey, caller, how you doing?
I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue your story. This is Dr.
How long have you
Well,
been
thank
on
you,
the
Dr.
line?
Thomas, for calling us again. You kind
polite.
of scared me again. I
Right.
thought this was Halloween. I was hearing voices.
Really?
I was about to go call you, actually, Dr. Thomas.
Hi, Dr. Thomas.
But you can't hear?
What? No, I think my mic's broke.
I think it is. Your mic is very low.
Testing.
It's very low.
Oh no,
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's not working.
we got a situation in here, ladies and
okay.
gentlemen.
I'll share
Mr.
with you.
Bilal,
Okay, well, thank you.
Please.
Mike
But,
is very low, but we can hear him. Hopefully, you can
know,
hear him on WJZZ Cool
I
TV.
can't
on the course.
compare how a child grew up in Bloomfield Hills to a child growing up in Cherry Lawn or Puritan. Basically, there's two different upbringings, two different lives, several different ways you were raised. So, any thoughts on that?
Not particular. I was gonna just throw it to the caller. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
we got some shenanigans going on in here today. Caller, how you doing today, Miss Thomas?
It's
Dr.
always
Thomas? How you
some
feeling?
Shenanigans.
I'm doing well. I just wanted to add to the conversation when we're talking about systematic racism. I know it's not political, but we have to start looking at the educational system.
Very
And
much so.
who we, put in for school, who we elect for school board members. Are they going to make sure that funds are funneled to the poorest school districts so that we can end that school to prison pipeline
That's right.
that we know that is in place, and to give the children in disadvantaged neighborhoods such as Pearton Avenue.
Right.
Dre, you and I both grew up on Pearton.
Very much
and
so.
I know for sure there were not a lot of opportunities. And if you weren't in academic programs, such as back then it was 4-H and different things of that, or junior league, you didn't get those advantages afforded to you. I went to different programs from my peers just because of my grades. But the children who didn't have good grades, they didn't know about opportunities or different programs because they weren't told that information. But because I was involved in more scholarly engagement in school, I was afforded those opportunities. So I think part of the problem is not knowing the information. Like Bilal said, he sought that information out. Some children don't even know. I mean, and again, we're talking about children, like teenagers in the high school. They do know that those programs are out there. And if they're not informed, how will they know if they don't know how to do research to begin with?
That's right. And
So how
commenting.
can we
Oh, sorry. Go
change
ahead.
that? Yes. So I think we really need more programs for our youth as well to get them in political engagement in elementary school and start that process there.
Okay.
Yeah. So one great thing, and I know it's something that we need to get younger students involved as well. It's things like mayor's youth councils.
Yes.
Right? And so it's starting that engagement, getting people thinking about politics and working with adults in government and starting to get them some experience younger and help them there. And that was one of the things I was trying to start when I was with Royal Oak Township, was trying to get something started for students there and make sure that they were able to receive those same opportunities as people who were at the Oak Park schools and Ferndale schools, and making sure that that was available.
You know, it's funny that you said that, because one of my biggest things was I grew up in Detroit public schools. And at one point in time, there was a thing called student council. Most of us ran for that. Well, I ain't gonna say most of us. Some of us ran for that, either to actually do something or just for the popularity of it. But now, you don't see that anymore. One of my biggest pushes right now is to do that exact thing, to start some kind of citywide or countywide student council where some of the high school juniors or seniors are actually coming down to, well, this was before COVID-19 hit, but start coming to some of these meetings, report back to their friends at school. You know, they go home and tell their parents. You know, some of these parents are not active. So my child come home telling me this was going on, blase, split, blase, and you teaching me as a parent. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Now I have to start doing something because my child is telling me stuff. So now I have to get engaged. So that's part of the issue there. Excuse me. I'm negative. Also, COVID-19. I have to spit in my throat, so I'm just letting y'all know.
May I add something from a female perspective?
Shoot.
Okay, so tell me when I'm wrong with it. So real quick, my experience is a little different from you gentlemen. 2-parent household. They both work full time. I always went to Lutheran schools, Catholic schools, but I always lived in Detroit, in the city of Detroit. What they call it, 2020, 7 Mile Shaper.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, I got to take care of something real quick. Be right back, Latrice.
Go ahead.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. I swear I'm coming back. It's my
He's
show.
coming back. I can hold down the show. Run. Hurry. Run. So, my experience was a little different. Girl Scouts, Junior Achievement, all kind of stuff. Went to Michigan State, Black Caucus, always volunteering for different things. Worked for an environmental agency. I think you know the name of it, Urban Options. My experiences were a little different. We always had to be responsible. You always had to do something at home. You always had to do your homework. Straight A's, blah, blah, blah. Groups at school, Spanish club. I can't speak a word of Spanish, none other than como esta. But you understand what I'm saying? Everybody comes from a slightly different part of the universe. But our universes connect. And I think where that connection is where we need to explore and expand. And that's where we can teach people. Even though my experiences, I didn't go to a public school, I learned a lot from people, my friends that did go to public school. It was a lot of things that happened in public school in the suburbs and in the inner city that are just shocking me. I was like, what? But I kind of was jealous, you know, they get to wear jeans. And I couldn't wear jeans. I had to wear plaid pants. You understand what I'm saying? But there's always a difference somewhere. And with this program, what I like about it so much is that it's equal. Public, Republican, Democrat, male, female, black, white, Caucasian, Asian, whatever it means. You come together and you meet that intersection and you intertwine and you teach each other and then you expand. And having those opportunities, and Dre is back. Otis came back.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome. I'm just saying, welcome to Cash's quarantine with Dre. I mean, he's there a little bit, but this show was rebranded when you were out in the hall.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I went back into the Cash
real quick. I want to say real quick, this is the quarantine, and you are watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, and you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and all top social media platforms. And you can also call in 313-355-6018, and we have about Almost
10, 15
5
minutes.
minutes left. So if you got something to say, you better call in.
I'd like to hear from Bilal.
Real quick. After Bilal, I want to go into something because this is September 11th, and I do not want to leave here without at least speaking on that. So again, Bilal, shoot.
Yeah. So the caller and all of you have mentioned some great points when it's talking about access to the organizations and to the extracurricular activities that exist. Sometimes just a $50 sports fee can separate a student from being able to actually participate in the extracurriculars that exist. And some schools waive that fee, some schools still have that, but that alone is such a huge barrier. And you mentioned where you went to school. What I've seen is, I'll give you an example. Star Academy. This is Universal Academy in Detroit. It's a school that caters to Yemeni Americans. It is a charter school. And this is the type of institution that has multiple facilities. It's hosted by Oakland University. And yet the students that attend this school, they come from high immigrant population families. It's Yemeni immigrants coming from Yemen, coming straight here. A lot of their families are non-English speaking. And they want to put their kids in a school that is their culture or has at least some sort of something that they can understand.
And do ESL, English as the second language. Yes.
And so what we see is this huge gap in actual resources provided to these students. And I don't know if some of you may have seen this. One of the students, the valedictorian, spoke out against this. And she did this whole speech during her valedictorian speech against the institution and how it has been basically providing less resources to this institution because it's a high immigrant population. They felt they could get away with it. You know what they did? They withheld her transcript. They did not give it to her. She could not apply to college.
I remember.
It was ridiculous.
Did they ever give her?
They did eventually, and she's doing great now. And we're really thankful for it. But it shows that even in between communities, there is that racial disparity. And just that small difference can be a lifetime worth of change. And it's down to at the systemic level, this is something that needs to be addressed. So education plays a huge role in we can go on for ages about charter schools, about the systemic issues of just education alone, but I want to,
Ladies and gentlemen, this was another Friday of the quarantine with Dre and Cash with special guests
Zach Rich.
Zach.
And Bilal Hamoud.
We are going to be closing up in about 2.5 minutes. Caller, I needed you to call about 20 minutes ago. Make it quick. Hello? Hello? Oh, well, I can't hear you. We got about 2 minutes. Closing remarks, real quick. Zach, how can we find you and reach you?
You can find me on Facebook, Zach Rich, Farmington Public Schools trustee. You can find me online pretty much anywhere.
Bilal, how can we find and contact you?
Bilal Hamoud, find me on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, and email me at hamoudb@michigan.gov if you're interested in hosting events on educational outreach for voter education.
Latrice?
Thank you for watching, and this is WJZZ Cool TV. Thank you for watching The Quarantine with Dre, Otis, and Cash, as in Cash Camp. And we are the coolest station in the world. And back to Otis, let's say what we got to say for 911.
Caller, are you there? Okay, you're not there. Real quick, I want to do something about 10 seconds we have. I want to do a moment of silence real quick for the people that lost their lives on September 11th. So real quick, can we do that, please? Thank you. All right, thank you, everybody. This is the quarantine again. I know y'all tired of hearing that, but shit, that's what we in. We was in a quarantine, so that's what I came up with.
And
this
we
name
still in that quarantine. So y'all come back next Friday and every Friday at WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, and watch us on The Quarantine with Dre, Otis, and Cash, as in Cash Cam, 8 p.m. every Friday. We have one more minute. If we have a caller, please send them.
No, our caller don't say nothing. It's too late. We about to go, and I'm closing out with my final remarks. She took my last remarks, but this is what Latrice Cash does. She says she's single, so somebody come get her. She needs a man. She was in here saying to Zach earlier she was flirting with him. So
I said, Zach, you
ladies
so
and
handsome.
gentlemen, it was another week with you all. Me and Latrice gonna butt heads again next week.
Always.
Make KK, the KKK, a terrorist organization. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we out. See